Okay. Hello everyone, this is Zahir Islam. I am begin a novella written by Ernest Hemingway, The Old Man and Sea. Today my presentation topics is The Old Man and Sea, written by Ernest Hemingway. It was the heroic novella from Ernest Hemingway. It was written 1952 and 1953 he awarded Pulitzer Prize. Actually, the novella or the story, The Old Man and Sea, is the epic battle between an old man and a giant marlin fish. The central character this story, the old man, was Cuban. He had not to catch any fish for 84 days. His trainee, Manolin, was forced to leave him because the old man could not catch any fish for 84 days. Though Manolin continued to help him with food and others by. Anyway, the old man has never give up thinking. He went the Gulf Stream and tried to catch a marlin fish. After some days, he hooks a giant marlin fish, but the fish was so big he could not catch in his boat. He struggled for 3 days, but his tireless effort could not succeed to catch the marlin fish. He has some harpoon in boat. He heals to marlin fish, but he tried with his experienced struggle, but he could not succeed. At this time, some shark of Gulf Stream attacked the marlin fish. The sharks eaten the whole marlin fish without leave his skeleton. After he tireless effort, he could not catch the whole marlin fish. Only he came back from the seashore with marlin skeleton. When he came back the harbor, he went to rest. Everyone saw a giant skeleton. They could not able to see such a big skeleton any other days. The Manolin came here, the old man, and he was happy to see the old man. This story I will share. It's Ernest Hemingway written 1952. He want to understand that the old man is symbolized whole hours, and the manolin fish represent our environment or others challenge our daily life. So, dear listeners, my presentation is stopped here. Thank you everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Next.
Assalamu alaikum.
আজকে সম্পূর্ণ প্রিপারেশন নিয়ে আসছে
শুধুমাত্র আপনার জন্য স্যার?
না আমার জন্য না আর
আচ্ছা, সমস্যা নেই, এটা গোপন থাকে।
আজকে মনে কিছু একটা করেই যাবে ঠিক আছে
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Najmul and welcome to all to the presentation session. Today I'm going to explain the famous novel with the name The Old Man and the Sea, which is written by Ernest Hemingway. This novel is related to the life of Ernest Hemingway. First, if we want to understand this novel, first you have to know the characteristics of this novel. Finally, there are three main characters in this novel. First character is the Santiago, the experienced fisherman, and second character is Marlin. Marlin is the name of a fish, and third character is Melanie. Melanie is the assistant of Santiago. The experienced fisherman, Santiago, catching fishes is long time, but he has a dream. He wants to catch a big fish, which his name is Marlin. For these reasons, he was trying within 84 days with the assistance of Melanie. Melanie, after for 40 days, there is no fish caught by Santiago. For this reason, Santiago told the Melanie to leave him and go back to his home. For this reason, he has a family. At the first time, Melanie is disagreed with the Santiago's proposed, but at last he left the Santiago. And for the 40 days, Santiago is trying day by day to fulfill his dream. That his dream is to catch a marlin, the big fish. After 84 days, in the day of 85th, Santiago catch a big, very big marlin fish, which is 18 feet long, and is very strong fish. For these reasons, Santiago is very alone in the deep of the sea. For these reasons, he could not control the fish at this moment, and he tries to tie the fish with his boat, and finally he succeeds. And when he tied the fish with his boat, then the fish tried to bring his boat within the deep sea. And when the marine fish is weak, then Santiago thinks that it's time to catch the fish with his boat. And finally, Santiago took his tools and hit the head of this marlin fish. For this reason, marlin fish is finally died. But the heat of the stools, the blood is dropping from the head of the marlins. And we know that in the deep sea, if the blood mixed with the waters and the shark, it's try to follow this scent of this blood, and finally two shark is coming with the Santiago's marlin fish. And Santiago tried to fighting with just two sharks. And finally hit a shark, and one shark is died. And one shark is go back to the Najmul. And after one day, when Santiago is trying to go back his home, finally many sharks is come to the Santiago's marlin fish. And at this moment, Santiago has no tool that he can fight with the shark. For this reason, all sharks attack the marlin fish, and all marlin fish is finally eaten by the shark, and only skeleton is with the Santiago. But Santiago is not disappointed. He tried to bring the skeletons with his homes, and finally he tried to reach his destinations with the skeleton. And all people are come to his boat and see the big skeletons of a marlin fish. And before, the people of this area, they could not see the big fish skeletons. This is the first time of this. They cannot believe it is caught by the Santiago. But Santiago is very happy that he could not bring the main fish of the marlins, but he is able to bring the skeletons of the marlin fish. And finally, he is very tired. After 3 months fighting in the deep sea, he catch a marlin fish, but he could not bring it physically. But he is bring only skeletons. But he is happy and whispers louder, the man can be destroyed but never defeated. It is the moral of Santiago. Today after this, and finally in this novels, we have advised that if we try our best, we can get something, inshallah. So never give up.
Never, never. Thank you very much for your next.
Senior after the
আসেন অন্তর আসেন দুজন ছেলে একজন মেয়ে এই বিদ্যুতের কাউন্টারের মতো আপনি কোনটা বলবেন স্যার আপনি তো হিন্দিতে ফ্লুয়েন্ট
কোনটা বলবেন?
বলেন
বলেন।
স্যার আসলে আমার প্রিপারেশন নাই তো ওই জন্য হচ্ছে একটু নার্ভাস লাগতেছে বিকজ কোনো একটা লেভেলে প্রিপারেশন নিতে পারিনি বাট সবগুলো স্টোরি একটু একটু করে দেখা হচ্ছে
বলেন।
was a road where the place used.
So we can
Carry on.
In Ireland, which was
Oldman and C থেকে আমি প্রশ্ন দিব না কারণ আমরা দেখতেছি আপনি সবাই পারেনি বলেন অন্তরা শুরু করেন
in Ireland, Richmond Street, there was a road or an area where people, students or sir, I'm actually একটু নার্ভাস
যেটা পারেন আপনি সেটা বলেন কোনটা পারেন বলেন
স্যার সবগুলো স্টোরি জানি বাট মানে প্রিপেয়ার করা হয়নি দেখে আমার নার্ভাস লাগে
বলেন কোনটাতে কি হয় ওটা বললেই হবে ইন্ট্রোডাকশন লাগবে না বলেন আরবিতে কি হয় আরবিতে আমি এই 3 সেন্টেন্স শেষ করে দিচ্ছি বলেন
মানে হচ্ছে ওখানে একটা স্ট্রিট থাকে তো যেখানে হচ্ছে অনেকগুলো বাচ্চারা একসাথে খেলে তো ওখানে হচ্ছে স্কুলটা যখন আপনার মানে বন্ধ হয় অথবা মানে
একটু চেষ্টা করেন ইংরেজিতে বলতে
আচ্ছা
ঠিক আছে আপনি প্রিপারেশন নেন তারপর আসুন
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার
রাতে
এটা বন্ধ করে দেন
আর কত পড়বে না
খেলাখেলি করে না যাও
আসুন আসুন তুষার আসুন মাইক্রোফোন
Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Tushar and I'm from 7th batch weekend. My ID is 201040158 and today I'm going to present you with the character analysis of Santiago from the novel The Old Man and the Sea. It is written by Ernest Hemingway and it was published in 1952. So to make it short, I'm going to start. The main protagonist of this novella is Santiago, who is a Cuban fisherman. And he is a simple, uneducated man. He lives in a ramshackle hut on the sea coast, and he lives in a ramshackle hut on the sea coast and eats simply, and he's a well-mannered man. During his youth, he used to work in large open sea sailing vessels, and during that course of time, he went to Africa, where he saw lions lying on the white sand beach, and it affected his mental strength enormously. During his ordeal on the sea, he draws mental strength from the mental image of those lions lying on the sand beach. So at the same time, he lives in a village where most of the people are from fishing community. So other fishermen some always tries to make fun of him or sometimes pity him due to his lack of luck and his old age, but his determination. But at the same time, they deeply respect him for his determination, optimism, these things. Santiago loves the sea for everything it has given him. He takes the sea as a motivation for his ordeal, and he develops a relationship with the fish based on what he takes to be a relation of mutual respect, like the relationship between the bullfighter and bull. And during the course of the novella, Santiago is met with a young apprentice who is named like Manolin, who is named like Manolin. he teaches Manolin the technicalities of fishing, and he tells him about the stories of life. He demonstrates his compassion and his kind self to the boy. There are two characters have a mutual interest in baseball, and this is the major topic of conversation between them. Santiago has past admired the baseball star Joe DiMaggio, and he draws an inspiration from Joe DiMaggio, as Joe DiMaggio was once heavily injured, but despite he played on, and at the end he triumphed. So Santiago draws inspiration from the.
Thank you. Okay.
So Santiago draws inspiration from the unalterable will of DiMaggio. And in the novel, Santiago is shown to be a cheerful, determined, brave, optimistic man. He has gone for 84 days without catching a fish, but he is never in the slightest bit discouraged. Rather, he always blames himself, or blames his lack of will.
So, since you are analyzing the character, it will take time. Tell me one of the most intriguing part of his character that inspires you as well.
The most striking thing about his character is his firm determination, which is really virtually extinct or non-existent among the people of today. He was so determined that he hold fast to the line that connected him to the fish for 3 long days, and after that he was still exhausted, but he fought with the sharks for 1.5 nights, despite his injuries in his palm and in his left hand, and it went his back. So this is the most striking thing I think about him.
So, what are the lessons do you take?
I take the lessons about his firm determination, and one thing he is unique, I think. He never blames anything like luck or anyone else about his failures. He always thinks about his lackings, and when he lost the Manolin, most of the parts of Manolin to the sharks, he muses that it is his exaggerated pride. Exaggerated pride, and that has destroyed the Manolin and himself. So I think.
Thank you.
So hello everyone and good morning to all of you. My name is Mohammad Rahat Hussain and I am a student of English department at University of Scholars, and right now I am going to discuss about a very famous novel, The Old Man and Sea, written by Ernest Hemingway and published on 1952. So before I going to talk about the story, I like to talk about the author. So Ernest Hemingway is a well-known novelist, and at the same time he was a journalist too. And besides that, he was a great sportsman as well. And he born in 1899 and he died in 1961. And unfortunately, in 1961, he committed suicide and ended his life. So let's back in the story. So The Old Man and Sea. The story is all about a old man, Santiago, and a big fish called the marlin. So what is marlin? Marlin is basically a big fish, kind of shark, but it is not shark, it is different from shark. So the story begins like that the old man, Santiago, didn't catch any fish from last 84 days. So so the community of fishermen makes laugh of him because he cannot catch a fish from last 84 days. Sorry. So the old man has a helping hand called Manolin. So Manolin He's basically a boy, maybe around age of 14 or 15 years old. So Melanie helped the old man to catch fish. So he all the time he is with the old man. But the Melanie parents didn't want his child to go with the old man because he is an example of unluckiness, because he didn't catch any fish from last 84 days. So they don't let his son to the old man to work with them. So at the same time, the old man Santiago think about to catch a big fish called marlin. For that reason, one day Santiago went to the sea and to find a big fish, marlin. So he went to the sea in a deep level and he tried to catch a fish. And there is a moment he catch a fish marlin, but he's that much old that he cannot hold the marlin into his boat. So he's tried to bring the marlin into the boat, but he's not able to bring him up in the boat. So he tried and after 2 long days, he's getting tired and his one hand get injured. So he's almost ready to give up. But at that moment, he had the guards that he have to bring the marlin with him and bring the fish market. So what he was doing, that he bring a hammer or that kind of weapon, and he tried to hit the marlin. And at that time, marlin get injured, and the old man Santiago bring the marlin with the boat and drag him up and try to back in the market. So as I said, the marlin get injured, so his blood goes around the sea, and there was a moment a shark came to the marlin and tried to eat the marlin. So at this point, Santiago bring his weapon and try to kill the shark, and he is successfully tried to kill the shark. So after he killed the shark, a group of sharks come near to the marlin and try to eat the marlin. And Santiago, at this moment, the weapon that Santiago had in her hand is fall into the water, so he cannot do anything with the group of sharks. So in this moment, the group of sharks attack the marlin and eat the whole body and leave with the skeleton. So there is a point that Santiago didn't have anything to do, so he just back into the market with the boat and the skeleton, and he left the skeleton with the boat, and he came back to his home and had a sleep. So at that time, the fisher community people came near to the boat and see the skeleton, and they get mesmerized with the skeleton because it was so big. So there is a fisherman who came near to the skeleton and measured the skeleton, and it was about 18 feet long from nose to tail. So they feel sorry about the Santiago because they didn't bring the whole marlin into the market. So the fisherman community say to the Melanie to say sorry to the Santiago. So at this moment, Melanie came to the old man Santiago and feel sorry for that. And at that moment, Santiago said to the Melanie that one day he will go with Melanie and catch a big fish. So this is the story all about. So what we can learn from this story? So the learning objective of the story can be divided by 2 ways. So the first way can be for the positive way, because if you relate to the story, or if you see the story, you can see that the never give up attitude that Santiago had, because he's that much old, he cannot hold the marlin into the boat. But then he tried to try again and again to bring the marlin into the boat. So there is a point we can learn from the story, that never give up attitude. And the other side of the story that I like the most is I believe that in this classroom right now we all have a dream that we want to achieve. We like to do anything for to chasing the dream. We like to sacrifice anything for chasing the dream. But what will happen after the chasing the dream if there is no one left with me? At same as the Santiago, he was dreaming to catch the marlin, and he is achieved the dream. He catch a marlin, but he cannot hold the marlin into his boat. So this is the lesson we can take, that we have to dream big, but at the same time we have to dream that is chaseable. So if you like the story, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.
YouTube channel link is
Volunteer description box link.
Hello everyone.
Hey,
I'm sorry. Listen. Hello everyone.
Take the mouse inside it.
Hello everyone, this is Imran Hussain. I'm from the 5th batch, Department of English. And today's my presentation topic is the Samson's Lovers from the novel Samson's Lovers, character analysis, Paul Morel. So before I begin my presentation, I would like to give some information about the novel. The novel written by D.S. Lawrence, and which published in the year 1913 and guarded Dartford Company Limited. So let's begin my character analysis of Paul Morel. So Paul is the main protagonist of this novel. Throughout the novel, we get emotional conflict about Paul Morel and his mother, and Miriam and Clara. So we got the emotion, love of emotion throughout the novel. So Paul is the third child of his parents. When he born in the Morel family, that time Paul's mother Gertrude and Walter had conflict in that moment. So Paul at that time born, so it is considered that Paul was an unwanted child. The cause of birth, Paul, is one kind of pain, and on the other hand, it was happiness for Gertrude Morel. So what happened? Pain. It was pain because that time there was a conflict about Gertrude and Walter. So in that case, just Paul born. So it was painful for Gertrude Morel. And the happiness is this is the biggest happiness for Gertrude Morel, because Gertrude Morel's rest of her life got Paul as a companion, whatever we say, as a good child, or as a good lover, we might say that, but throughout the novel. So, but after that, we see that Paul got engaged in several places with Miriam, and after that with Clara, but Gertrude Morel didn't accept it normally. So Gertrude Morel felt very disappointed after getting this news that his son or his most best friend in that moment he is engaging with another place with Miriam or Clara. She was very disappointed. On the other hand, Paul also was feeling uncomfortable with the relation with Miriam or with Clara. He always feel good when he is with her mother. So just because of this reason, Paul could not engage with these two characters, Miriam and Clara. So. Thus, end of the novel, we see that Gertrude Morel got cancer, and for this reason she died. And after that, we see Paul was very disappointed and devastated his life. He could not feel comfortable without company of his mother. And in end of the play, Paul himself says that Paul got his life meaningless without his mother. That's all about my presentation.
Thank you. Pause. Let's go.